One of the things that I admire most about Frank is his ability to connect with anybody.
He was a life teacher for us as students. I mean, to show us that what it meant to be an engineer and what it meant to be a community leader and that type of deal.
What people remember most about Frank as an administrator is that he was very demanding. He had high standards, but he demanded no more of anyone else than he demanded of himself.
People talk about, Frank has developed this course or that program, and when he was dean he did this, and when he was vice president, he instituted this policy or whatever, and that's all well and good. But to me, it's all about connecting with the students that come through here.
Frank Wilson's #1 concern, I think, in the classroom was the students, and he connected with all the students, no matter where they came from or their status. He backed the students 100% all the time.
I think perhaps his biggest legacy is the tremendous versatility that he showed in his various roles. There was no part of the university that he would ever have said, that's not my job, or that's not within my portfolio.
We had some wonderful trips and conferences together with Colin B. Mackay, the former president at UNB. He was very outspoken, and he said all kinds of things to Frank, but one of the things he often said when he saw us coming was, "Oh, here comes Wilson, Dean of everything."
Of course, you're going to be remembered for his promotion on the highways and highway safety, but I think the #1 thing is how much he helped people.
The Fundy Trail is the apple of his eye. He was involved right from the beginning when Frank McKenna asked him to be part of it, and he has enjoyed that so much.
I got to know you when you were Dean of Engineering, and the spectacular job that you did there, and the School of Transportation, the spectacular job you did there. Now, it hasn't all been good. You may recall at the beginning of my political career, you tried to talk me out of running for the leadership and supported another candidate. You might have been right too, but it didn't turn out well for the other candidate, and I did become Premier, and you were the best friend I ever had in office.
When I became involved in different professional organizations like the Transportation Association of Canada or the Canadian Institute of Transportation Engineers and so on, after I became involved with boards of directors and so on, the people that I would meet across the country, the first thing they would ask is how Frank is doing, and then they go on to describe all the different things that he did with those organizations. The work capacity that man has is second to none.
I remember Frank as being incredibly committed as an administrator, someone who lived and breathed and bled UNB, and as someone who was totally fearless. I think there was no one he would hesitate to approach on behalf of UNB.
No matter who he meets, sooner or later he makes a connection with some relative, the long-lost relative that they have from back in Albert County, which is always fascinating to see him draw that out of people.
After graduation, a year or two later, he invited Donnie Good and Barry Beeson and myself and their wives down to his cottage in Alma. And we were going to have a lobster do. We would supply the lobster, and Frank volunteered that he was going to supply the beer. "Don't worry about beer, boys. I will have all the beer you need. I've got it in the well. It's getting cold, so come on down." So we picked up the lobster, and however, the three of us discussed Frank's frugality, and just on the off chance he may not have a lot of beer for a weekend, a long weekend at that, maybe we should take some with us. So when we arrived, the first question was, "Frank, where's the beer?" He promptly went to the well, cranked it up in the wooden bucket, and there he had, for the weekend, for the four of us, a 6-pack. Now, Frank, we need a little more beer. Well, there's 6 beer there. That's enough, isn't it, for the 4 of us? Luckily, we had 3 2-4s in the back of the car, and the weekend went well.
From me, my family, your city, your province, and your country, all of us grateful for your service. I just want to congratulate you and applaud you on this wonderful night.
No, Frank's unique, he's special. I mean, I hope this evening, and I hope everybody here realizes what Frank has done for the roads, the highways, the safety, for the students, for the kids.
I don't think there was a waking moment when Frank wasn't thinking about something at UNB.